Hello everybody, and welcome back again to the Silver Gauntlets for another Triforce Blitz tournament match between Purble and Cola this time. Joining me on comms today is the person responsible for this mayhem, and who's far more knowledgeable than I am on these settings, which is Elagatua. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's a little bit of a early match for me, but that's not a problem. I'm ready to go and excited to see some more Dorito collection action.
Indeed. So, yeah, things have been running a little bit behind, but I think we're almost ready to go as soon as we get over to, once Hell Knight's finished all the last few things on the back.
Let's see what our opening song medallions are. Maybe our players will give us a peek before we hop into it. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait.
Okay, so countdown has started, and we're going to get storms. And interesting. I mean, that's kind of a good one to get because it does open quite a lot early.
Yeah, you'll tend to know whether storms will be necessary for a piece if you get low counts. Like a 1 would be very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Fire Temple is a Path of Wisdom as well.
Yeah, so that's a 10-3-3 with Fire Temple on one of the 3s. So that kind of makes it less likely that there's going to be a piece in the bottom of the well. If there was a piece in there, we'd probably expect something like a 1 or a 2. Mm-hmm. 1 being for Storms and maybe 2 for ZL potentially. Yeah, not a lot to go off of there. Fire Temple being on the path of 3 is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that kind of suggests that, I mean, in theory it should suggest that it might not be too far in to fire, but I guess it really depends what sort of items we get and where it sends us on these paths.
Yeah, I think something we'll want to keep out or a lookout for early is will the hammer show up? Because it could just be, you know, the first few checks in fire for like a bomb bag or a hook shot or something like that that's locking down the whole seed.
Yeah, exactly. And then we might only need like a hammer, hook shot, and perhaps a bomb bag, and that might be for 3, or Bolero even. But we're going to find something here from in the open grotto. First strength, nice.
And that was bottom of the well, Path of Power, so I'm sure we'll see a bottom of the well trip at some point, although I imagine that the runners will maybe try to prioritize those 3 paths. I think a 10 by itself is probably safe to not have to worry about the time limit for, but you never know, and locking down those 3 pieces, which sometimes are in the same place. Sometimes you see that a lot with path counts that are the same number. Might just be worth trying to prioritize those 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a strategy from sort of what I've seen, that sounds probably like a good one. Just try and race for the 2 short ones, and if you get at least one of them, then hopefully you might win. And if but even the 10 one might not be too bad. Like it's not the highest even that I've seen in the first couple of races that we've had.
Yeah, there's just a lot that depends on the layout of the other items on the path. With something in bottom of the well, you know that one of the slots is going to be taken up by storms. And that's never going to show up as a path hint, because your opening song can never be hinted as path, even though it will be included on the path count. So storm's definitely one of the 10, but won't be hinted. That's going to mean that the information that shows up on the 10 path is pretty strong. Every single item probably is hinted, or at least close to it.
Yeah.
Likely to need ZL, which also won't be hinted. So, yeah, hint's going to be especially strong with this seed. And, yeah, we'll kind of wait to see more information as the runners finish up the kind of the standard opening meta of Cack into Graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Noticed that Purble did pick up the bow, but didn't remember to just go do adult shooting immediately. So Fortunately, there's nothing there, so if he does forget, then it's not a big deal. But it's something that some people do trip up on, including me. If I get a bow and I'm in CAC, I'm just like, I'll do it now while I remember, because I'm gonna get to like 2 hours and forget otherwise.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to forget that check. It's just one of those that if you have the bow, it's nice to get out of the way because CAC is so often path, and you just don't want to leave any extra checks hanging around that can cause you to come back and waste a bunch of time by like some poor routing.
Yeah, exactly.
But who knows? We don't know CAC yet, so we'll see.
Getting a dual Dumpe race here. Both doing pretty well so far. No, Dumpe hasn't managed to snipe any of them yet.
I always hate going through that last door because if you you get a flame right on the door, you can get knocked back into the previous room and void out.
Yeah,
sure, everybody's had that
to me a few times. It's not fun. It's a 14, or almost a 49 from Cola, basically a 49. That's pretty quick. Purble not too far behind, gonna get a 52, 53.
And that was a second bow. So we now know for sure that bow is never going to be a path item because we have two and they don't lock each other. So it's convenient, I guess. And Purble has got locked, which is actually not that bad because he probably was going child anyway.
Yeah, I remember when I first started playing Randomizer and I got stuck there and then I realised, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's like the first trick I need to learn. It's just how to side jump in and out again.
Well, great. So we caught all those medals.
Yep, whatever they were. Might get a glimpse of a pause menu at some point that might tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably why. I mean, I think it's pretty good to at least go through the first 3 medallions and then try to mark them down while you're backwalking. Whoa, hello, Mido.
Oh, wow, Mido's got some goods for us today. That's a wallet. I think the first one was a tunic, I want to say, and a slingshot.
Stacked with bait.
Yeah, so Mido got annoyed at having nothing and being pulled out for having nothing, so this time he thought he'd just bait everybody.
Which tunic was that? Was that a Goron tunic?
It went through so fast I saw tunic. I'm not exactly sure which, and domain is foolish, so...
Well, that's interesting because now we know that there can't be any sort of tunic or wallet trolling for Fire Temple. That's something you see every now and then when an item early in Fire Temple like locks the whole seed. You can see a wallet path or a tunic path, but won't be having it at the seed.
Goron City foolish as well, and there's a claim check. So one of the shooting games actually has something for us. Currently going to go take that slingshot and find a piece of heart. Slingshot not really necessary for anything particularly then. Spirit's path to power.
That's a good hint to get early. I definitely endorse sneaking a peek at that hint on the way out, just because one useful hint can make a huge difference, especially if it means going to a dungeon or a specific check that you would otherwise miss and potentially could have big implications on the route.
Especially if it's somewhere like Spirit Temple, which is a little bit out of the way and has quite a few requirements to actually get anywhere near. Unless there's something sort of maybe pointing to it, you might decide to have other priorities and completely miss out. Minuet. We've got the Forest starter kit 100%.
Huh. SSN Path of Wisdom. Well, it could have been for that.
Yeah. Yeah, still 2, but we're not well, one that we won't be able to get just yet. But we can check the adult song easily enough. If they decide that they want to go into forest, then they can. Oh, there it is again.
Another one too. So something to be thinking about is, will wisdom and courage actually be in the same place? Oh, that's a shadow foolish.
Shadow foolish. That's a good one to get. I think Cole will be pretty happy at that one. Purble having a little bit of difficulty identifying which of the identical cuckoos he's looking for.
Yeah, so for those of us in the chat who have not seen any Triforce Blitz, let me give you the simple rundown, since I know many people are seeing this for the first time. So Triforce Blitz is all about finding 3 Triforce pieces that are in the dungeons. And as soon as you find all 3 Triforce pieces, you warp to the credits and you're done with the seed. So there won't be any like long go modes or anything like that. And we won't be seeing Ganondorf or Ganon at all in these seeds. We have really strong information that are in the hints, and we also have a time limit of 2 hours. So if the runners are unable to find all 3 pieces in under 2 hours, then we will stop, and whoever has more pieces by that time will win. And there's a tiebreaker based on time if they have the same number of pieces. So this is going to be fast. Often Triforce Blitz seeds are scarcely more than an hour. It's a very different experience to Rando, and all of these matches that we are seeing are going to be played as best of 3s, and this is game 1. I don't think we will have the other games today. I think they're playing them on separate days, but this is the first of a best of 3, so the loser of this race will not be like knocked out or lose the series.
Yeah, which I think is a good setup, because A, the seeds are generally a bit shorter anyway, and B, because they're a bit shorter, there's a little bit like, oh, okay, technically this could be done in like 45 minutes, and then you're out, and that was it. So you get a little bit more sort of opportunity to come back than you would otherwise if it was just single matches.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to have sub-1s, although we've had some pretty crazy outlier seeds in the number of Blitz seeds that I've played. The infamous one was the 3 pieces in bottom of the well seed that Cariosa got done in like 20 minutes or something like that. There's never been anything close to that level of troll since then, but yeah, I think I've seen like maybe 10 sub-1s or something like that.
I mean, even though it's sort of a streamlined version of Randomizer, it is still Randomizer, so some of the same, absolutely the same things apply. Things that can go completely tits up in normal Rando can also happen in Triforce Blitz.
So Serenade showing up in Lon Lon. I think I wasn't paying attention when that showed up on Purble's side, but kind of interested to see where Requiem's going to show up. I had my eye out for that because if that showed up in Child, it would be really nice for Purble having that slingshot and being able to chase after Path Spirit Temple while still in Child. But it looks like Requiem will not be showing up, and we'll have to figure it out later. Also, ZL missing in action. Kind of think that might end up being on Minuet, but remains to be seen.
Well, I think we might be seeing it quite soon, because this looks like a Temple of Time play.
Yeah, I think Cole is going to be going back adult to chase Minuet, and with the bow and strength, there's the option to head in the direction of Goron City. Good collection of checks in that vicinity. And in ZL, these settings cannot be hinted as path, but it is included as one of the counts. So for the 3 pieces, if ZL was required for that piece, it would count as a number. But it's never going to show up on like a hint stone for like whatever location ZL was found in.
Okay, so that's Bolero.
I have a lot of questions now. That means Minuet or Bolero is Path, or it's the Wolfos Grotto item. Maybe it's like Minuet for Bolero for ZL that's locking the whole seed, or Minuet for Bolero for Bomb Bag and Fire Temple that's locking the whole seed. Lots of questions.
Interesting. Well, let's see what this song is. Song of Time. Okay.
Yeah, so with that being Song of Time, I think it's really likely that we have a Bomb Bag in Fire Temple that's locking everything down. And our 3 paths are probably just Minuet, Bolero, and then the Fire Temple item. And it's probably both Wisdom and Courage are bomb locked. That's my guess.
I like the sound of that. It sounds pretty convincing. I think that is likely. But we've all seen enough Randomizer by now to know that what sometimes seems to make sense doesn't always turn out that way.
Yeah, I mean, it could always be a hook shot or something else pretty silly, but I mean, if in fact Wisdom and Courage are kind of shared between the paths, and it is like Minuet for Bolero for Fire, there has to be some really major item, probably coming up in the next check on Cola's side, that is going to basically lock everything down.
Turn the corner, and is it a bomb bag? It's a hook shot.
Okay, well, we were close.
Alright, so go straight out of here and back to Forest then, I guess.
So it looks like that hook shot is actually going to be the thing that locks everything down, and you'd have to imagine that that hook shot locks the other hook shot, and it probably locks the hover boots as well. Interestingly enough, they have everything they need to do Forest Temple except for a shield.
Yeah, which shouldn't bother Cola too much. Just needs us a little bit more of a pain to do a few of the enemies.
Yeah, Cola is a very experienced runner. This is why I always try to buy a shield in CAC, because you can just end up in Forest Temple unexpectedly after a quick kind of sequence of songs or item finds, and you want that shield. It just makes life so much easier.
Yeah, not being able to crouch stab with only 3 hearts against sort of Stalfos with that room can be a little bit of a troll. But Cola's just going to go rush straight to take advantage of one of the big changes in these settings, which is in Forest and Jabu, you have the boss shortcuts enabled. And there's a key, unsurprisingly. And so Cola can just choose, as he is choosing, just to go beat Phantom Ganon, see what he's got, and then decide if he wants to spend any more time in the Forest or...
So for all you first-time viewers of Triforce Blitz, in these settings, Ganon's Bridge is set to 2 dungeon rewards, which basically means beat 1 dungeon and get access to Ganon's castle. So that's why Cola is going straight to Phantom Ganon here. And Cola has a suspicion that there might be multiple Triforce pieces in Ganon's castle, and maybe that hookshot is locking the path to clear all the dungeons. Also, Ganon's castle checks are very quick, so Cola's prioritizing that most likely over the rest of checks in Forest. He'll probably go Ganon's, and then if nothing turns up, might head back to Forest.
Yeah, I think that sounds like the play. You've got Minuet, it's pretty easy to get back here. And you don't really lose any time, because you come back at the start of the dungeon anyway, and you just complete it as normal at that point.
Let's see how clean this Phantom Ganon is without a shield. It's not free, that's for sure. Alright, 2 down.
Purble doing a bit of an extended child run here. Not gone back to adult yet.
Okay, now we're scared.
Oh, this is getting... okay, one more.
No, this is my nightmare.
No. Oh dear, now he's going into Phantom Ganon crazy mode. That's how the
With one
difficulty
heart.
are.
This is like the worst feeling on restream. Oh.
It's like, this is about as hard as it gets. But that was pretty good. So there we go.
All right, we're free.
Phew, never in doubt.
The seed is going pretty well. It's been pretty straightforward. Cola is zooming through things right now. And thank you for the subscription. I don't know if your name is Pwox or Pwox. Maybe you can help clarify that. Your subscription can buy you the right to have your name pronounced correctly by me.
I mean, that is a serious benefit if you enjoy that. Purble remembering that it's only 3 chickens and not doing all of them, which is nice. Only getting a Stone of Agony though, so that's a shame.
I don't remember which one I said second. I'm assuming it's Pwox.
I think it was Pwox was the second one.
Oh, great. Now we've...
now we've confused us.
Now you need to gift the sub. Don't get it right. Alright, Pwox. There we go.
Pwox it is. Alright.
This is what I'm good for. It's for analysis and not pronunciation.
I mean, in the sort of 21st century where everyone's got random made-up usernames, pronunciation is a little bit tricky. But I think most people are sort of chilled about it. I don't think anyone takes it too seriously.
Everyone butchers mine, but it's hilarious. Oh, yeah, Ice Cavern.
Rush Ice. Can't do it yet, but it's... and Purble going for the early well play instead of Forest. Which I guess makes sense if you really don't want to go into Forest, then go to the bottom of well would be the other option.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he's going to see a ZL-locked big chest right away, and that's not a happy feeling, because that means you're probably going to have to come back at some point. ZL missing in action, kind of running out of spots for it. It might have to be in the desert.
Yeah, at this point, that's kind of likely. Although we've got something here. Oh, it's just double defense. Good for the memes. And I guess kind of good when you've got not very many hearts, but not really what he wanted to get from delaying Forest Temple and coming here instead.
Interesting that Cola has returned to Forest Temple instead of going to Ganon's. I don't really have strong opinions about the play. It's just what each... Oh,
I think he'll have some strong opinions now about this play. That's what we were saying. I mean, this is why I'm with you. If you get a chance, buy that shield, because it just makes it so much. All bows, hooray! Purble has reached bow percent in 20 minutes. that's quite something.
But yeah, so we kind of are learning a lot about this seed. So some of the paths that we have that are unfulfilled, well, we're missing ZL, and so that probably has to be in the desert. We have Ice that is path, and that's going to be behind ZL, that's for sure. And we also have Spirit path, and that could potentially be behind Requiem. And I think that Requiem probably has to be ZL locked as well. So I'm thinking this potentially could be a logical crossing seed for ZL, for Ice, for Requiem, for Spirit. Something like that, and it will be interesting to see if our runners think the same thing, and also if they can find some hover boots to maybe get around this mess.
Yeah, I think those hovers would be pretty useful. But that does sound like a bit of a messy chain of logic there, but it seems absolutely plausible.
Well, that's the cool thing about Triforce Blitz. If you can figure out what the seed is expecting you to do and cleverly circumvent it, you can save a lot of time, and maybe you can even win a race.
Oh, well, there's one of them. That's 136.55.
Let's call that wisdom. I'm pretty sure that we're never going to get any differentiation between wisdom and courage, so executive decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, take your pick which one it is. One of the two. So it's good enough.
To answer a question in chat, yes, it is adult Temple of Time spawn, And one of the unique things about this spawn is we planned hints specifically to the Temple of Time for the path counts, and then also one path hint. So those will always be at the Temple of Time, and those are pretty much always accessed right at the beginning of the seed. And those hints allow the players to strategize and know if it's a baby seed or a really horrible disaster seed right from the get-go, so that they can choose their strategy accordingly.
There's another chest here. Is this a second piece? No, but it is a bum bag. Forest actually paying out quite nicely.
So that could be that first bomb bag, and would kind of make sense if it were the giant chain for Bolero and Hookshot locking all of the bomb bags potentially. Yeah, Goomba, you should definitely try this. When I was designing this, I thought specifically of you, and I was like, wow, Goomba would like destroy this because his logic understanding is super, super good. Yes, Plox. There was another Bolero chain. We pretty much have hard confirmed Minuet for Bolero for Fire Temple, with the Hookshot being our third item, and we found a Triforce piece in Forest Temple, which is either Wisdom or Courage, and we're never going to know which one it is. So that pretty much confirms that the other of those two pieces is, it could be either deeper in Forest, or it could potentially be in Ganon's. That's another potential 3 location until we find a bomb bag out in the overworld or something like that. And looks like Cola is bombing the grass for money to do child fishing, chasing this Hylia path that he found.
Yeah, a few bombs worth the investment, probably, for 10 rupees or whatever he was short.
That RNG was really good. It's way better than I've ever gotten.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time I do that, I'm there for like 5 minutes. Especially that last one where he got like 8 rupees. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. That's pretty lucky.
So Purble, going to be getting that hook shot, and we'll see if we maybe see more of Forest Temple from Purble. But kind of only one place to go when you get a hook shot, so I imagine we'll be seeing Forest sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he's just going to trace Cola's steps as soon as we... there it is. It's the Minuet. And TJ coming in for 17 months. What a beast. How's it going, TJ?
Shout out to Serenade showing up in a seed with Hylia Path. Like, this is uncommonly generous of the seed.
I know, right? It's like, what is this seed doing? Things are sort of... One thing has led to another and led to another, and it's all kind of making sense. Like, this isn't rando. What's going on? This isn't my rando. Things making sense.
I want to call out a real pro move by Cola just there. He actually scummed his rupees, and he quit there to get his 20 rupees back. Now I'm not sure why he's going back Hylia. Maybe this is to check Boulder of Destiny, or maybe a Dompe play. It could be like Dompe into Well.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's got to be Dompe into Well, otherwise you would have just played Prelude, but with the time of day and everything, it sort of makes sense.
I know Domain's foolish, but yeah, this looks like a Dompe play. If you, as long as you take the owl about 2 or 3 seconds before the bridge starts going up, if you backwalk straight to CAC, you will make time of day for Dompe. Shoutouts to moding frequently in Season 3 enough to have that timing down lockdown.
It's just been burnt into brain through experience.
It's like Cola not opting to go for the Redead Grotto in CAC, just going straight to Dompe and probably straight to Well.
Meanwhile, it's Purble's turn to get in a fight with Phantom Ganon.
Fortunately,
also without a shield, but does have a double defense and 1 extra heart, so it's not quite as Monkeress, in theory. But yeah, Curly going to have the same problems as Purble did with no ZL. Only going to be able to get the non-ZL checks, which I think was just a scale. I think that's all we found in the well so far.
We saw another bow, but there was another big
another
chest
bow.
that was bomb locked that
right.
Purble was not able to get.
Yep, got bombs as well now. So yeah, that could be pretty big. Oh no, round again. There we go. Too many times that windmill has done the same to me. Phantom Ganon shows violence today. He's really deciding to to troll both runners.
And doing Phantom Ganon without a shield is just not fun. Cola getting the bad news that there's a big chest lock behind ZL. I have a suspicion that it is that bomb lock chest, though. ZL seems like it's probably pretty deep in this seed.
Yeah.
We need a way to cross, most likely. Kind of wonder if this isn't the second hook shot. Oh!
Purble also getting into hard mode against Phantom Ganon.
It's Rudo's Letter. Okay, well that's definitely Path.
Mm-hmm. We know Domain is foolish, but we haven't seen anything at all about Jabu Jabu.
Well, we know Ice Cavern is Path, so that guarantees that
even
Rudo's
just for that, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good for Purble, as long as Purble can get those Deku hints and find that Ice is Path, because there's another bottle somewhere. Knowing that, or having Rudo's Letter itself is not actually super important, as Phantom Ganon does finally fall, so that's Ganon's access for Purple as well, and maybe we'll see a Ganon's play from Purple.
Yeah, Purple's been playing it like a different sort of routing choices throughout. So I can see him going to Ganon's castle and then coming back to Forest.
I really think the key item in this sea is going to be whether those hovers are accessible. If it is actually Requiem in Ice Cavern, then being able to get Requiem out of logic could allow the runners to skip an entire crossing sequence, which would be very slow. And we have a pretty good indication that hovers are going to be hookshot locked somehow. That doesn't mean that they'll be able to get it out of, it'll be in logic or accessible necessarily, but it's definitely something that would save a lot of time for the runners if they were able to find it.
Fairy's not playing nicely here with Purble. It's like, just one of you, please, give me some help. What are you doing? No!
It's actually hysterical.
They all went. It's like, oh, what a good idea, I'll just play this here and I'll get a health refill. And I'm like, nope. Nope, the fairies are not playing nice today.
Did Purble actually see whether the Deku Tree hints for Ice Cavern?
I don't think so. I don't remember him going and checking the Deku hints, actually. I think he just preluded and rushed straight to Ganon's castle.
Well, looks like we're going to get our first peek of Ganon's, and Cola going to take that letter straight to King Zora, mostly just to free up a bottle, I imagine, so that if those hovers show up, he'll have the option to go ice.
Kokiri Forest on the path of the Wanderer. Not the most useful of hints there.
Slingshot, maybe? We haven't seen anything that would require the tunics yet in Kokiri Forest. We got a big chest and water trial.
It's just a lemon sherbet lollipop. Not interesting.
The useless item.
Yeah. In standard, you'd be like, oh, that's good, that's useful. At least we can beat Ganon now. In these settings, we leave evil in charge. We don't care about that. We just care about Triforce pieces.
Something to think about now. So Purble not having a bomb bag, and Spirit Trials coming up. Does Purble know how to do the kind of the bow extension through the wall here? This would be a good time for it. It would let him get an extra check here, but not everybody knows that that tech.
It is pretty tricky. I mean, I did spend like a good 3 or 4 hours trying to learn how to do it consistently. It's not easy.
And lots of action on the other side as well. Cola doing the adult lake checks, and so we know that lake is path, and we have nothing to show for it yet, so potentially another important path item going to be showing up soon.
And it also covers his bases in case Pierre is required, because Purble's nowhere near getting Scarecrow Song. Hey, nice good job, Purble. Yeah, that trick is... I find that one of the harder ones. I really do find that one difficult.
Big
and
chest.
It's a big chest. Oh, okay,
wow,
well, there's another bomb bag, so...
Uh-oh, what?
Boomerang. And we know Jabu is a path to somewhere, so... That's good, I guess, to know.
What medallion was Jabu? That's the question I have. Now I'm thinking like maybe Prelude is locking ZL or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if Jabu's Forest medallion, then that could certainly...
Oh yeah, that's right. Jabu could be Forest in the Goron Ruby, and that could be OOT potentially.
Oh,
so,
yes, it could.
Yeah, some other options here.
Yeah, still no OOT hint yet, so... But we might even... it's possible we might find out before we find the hint, which is not seen every day.
It's pretty suspicious, though. So that's a second bomb bag locked behind Hookshot, and also Rudo's and Rang... Well, Rudo's confirmed path, Rang likely path.
Mm.
So it certainly makes you think that, depending on that layout... And also, there's another big chest in Ganon's. Let's see if there's finally something showing up.
This Ganon's play, not too bad, like we were saying. Purble choosing to do it, whereas Cola didn't. Cola is going back charged. Oh, we're going to do the medallions first, so...
So that check in Spirit
Jabu
Trial
is
is actually
stone.
not... Sorry. That check in Spirit Trial is not bomb-locked because it was the first one. The second one is bomb-locked, but the visible one is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can just swing the sword through the wall. I don't think I saw Zora's Domain on that list of medallions, which suggests that, I mean, Jabu Jabu, which I think then suggests that Jabu Jabu is our other stone, which could which could be for the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I think Cola agrees. He's going straight there, and Magic showing up. Interesting.
Okay.
The trolling continues, by the way. We've seen 2 bomb bags that are locked behind hookshot, which means that actually all bomb lock checks are now 3s. So there's a much wider space that this other Triforce piece could show up in. It could now be in Dodongo's Cavern, or any sort of other bomb lock dungeon check.
Yeah, it's a good piece of information, but it's not in that it kind of opens up a load of other options. It makes things a little bit more confusing for where exactly it wants us to go. But you still would rather know the information, no matter how...
Yeah, just add some troll locations, because now you have to think about deep forest, bomb lock stuff in fire. Although we know fire is at least key locked behind a hammer, except for one more check, so that's not too bad. And then obviously Dodongo's Cavern. So there's like 3 potential locations where it could be, which is kind of a lot. Looks like we're going to see Courtyard after Floor Master from Purble. So we'll get into a few new checks here, and Cola's going to be going into Jabu, probably straight to Baronade, using the Jabu shortcut.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why I would stick around. It's almost, at least the logic would seem to suggest that the stone is the important thing here, rather than anything actually being inside his belly.
Just a key on that first new check in Forest Temple, but still another chance to see a new Triforce piece on the Floor Master if we can recoil. Looks like Purple's going to finish pushing the blocks and then do the recoil, which is smarter than my suggestion.
Yeah, that's the sensible play there. I would have just forgot about it and done the recoil myself as well. But, Purple not taking any chances.
Really nice job by Cola opening up the shortcut really quick.
Even better, Kalo, a 45-minute unhinted OOT. Because we have no idea what... no hint telling us what it is. We just have to intuit that the song that we need is on there.
Just normal Blitz things. Oh no, Purple missing the recoil there. He's going to try that again. Here there's somebody who has a setup on YouTube for that. It's really easy.
Really?
So you can mark off a nice clean Baronade off of your Zooter Bingo card for this run, as Cola takes it down pretty quick.
Hey, second time lucky for Purple.
And that is the Goron Ruby, so we are going to see OT momentarily. Oh, and a big chest and Floor Master. If this is the Triforce piece, it's huge. Oh,
it's a big bow. It is another bowl, at least.
That is actually still good, though. Although, if the OOT song is required, then Purple's going to need that Ruta's Letter.
Yes. Yeah, without that Rutos, no OOT is going to be available. We'll find out which song it is. We know it's going to be something. It's got to be something useful. I don't think we'll be too confused whichever one it is, and this will hopefully tell us our next destination, or at least how we're going to get there.
It's Requiem.
Alright, so there's the Requiem, which means that, yeah, Zeal at Colossus definitely a thing.
So this is going to be Child Spirit, probably. I don't know if Cola knows if Spirit is Path. So this might just be a ZL pickup.
Mm-hmm.
But again, shows the importance of those hints, because if Cola knew that Spirit was Path, he would definitely go into Child Spirit, guaranteed.
100%.
But now he may end up trying to search for the other 3-count piece in either Deeper Forest or maybe Ganon's. And if he finds that bomb bag, then probably Dodongo's Cavern's on the list as well.
And there's Purble getting there first, Dorito.
What? That was Saria's song. I have questions.
Wait, what? Saria's song? I was just making a note at the time that Purble picked up his piece. Saria's song? What? I don't think anyone, either us or chat, was thinking it would be Saria's.
So that probably means that ZL has to be on Prelude now. Just by process of elimination. What is going to be an Ice Cavern? Is it? Can it even be a song now? What is left? I guess Epona's.
Yeah, it's got to be with those suns. I don't know. Sorry, it's so
ooh, big chest and Spirit. Maybe this
chest.
is the path. Yeah, so if Cola can sniff out what's going on here with that ice path to power and thinks that it's Epona, we might see a real early GTG play just trying to bypass the entire sequence.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be a pretty big brain play to aim for. But it could certainly break open. See, I'm going to try again with the Fairy Refill this time. This should be a little bit easier because it's like, it's not a hard third person. A hammer!
Oh boy.
That
it solves nothing. And there is no key, right? So we're locked behind Strength 2 now.
Yep.
If we want to get into Spirit, which we might not. I mean, that hammer could very easily be what the path was.
Oh yeah, because fire is the Forest Medallion. So that, as Mel's saying, that could be ZL right there.
Yeah, so maybe this is the ZL chain. So you do all that. You do OOT to get Requiem, to get Hammer, to go do Fire Temple, to get ZL, to go do Ice, to get Epona's, to do GTG. How's that sound?
Sounds pretty good. Sounds like it might well be.
So how's Cola going to do this?
Presumably going to put on his Goron tunic, seeing as you've only got three hearts. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure that would be a good choice. But remember, Spit's got that Goron tunic from the start, so still a bit Monker-esque, fighting any boss with 3 hearts, but has got double defense at least, so should be okay. And there's a 20 hit, which is dead.
If I'm Purble, I want to go to Dodongo's Cavern as soon as possible.
I was going to say, this looks very much like a rush to DC play.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to lock down that second Triforce piece, it puts a lot of pressure on Cola, because Cola would then have to find all 3 in order to win.
And yeah, that would be they'd swing hugely from the early advantage Cola had, well back in Purple's favour if that were the case. Ooh, this is getting a little bit close here for Cola. We're having quarter of a heart left. Hey, Begoron Sword and DMT. Just for Storm's Grotto, so that's where Begoron lost it. I just didn't see it. And that was the OoT hint, yes. So Purble knows.
The question is, can Purble big brain the GTG deduction without having to get all the extra information? Finding Sarias in Desert was definitely unexpected. I think it's pretty hard to big brain the chain to fire with Hammer being in Spirit without actually just going through the chain. But I guess he's going to need Requiem no matter what to even be able to reverse, so scratch that thought.
Yeah, at this point this is really looking like it's going to hinge on what's here in DC. There's another hint for Purble that he might want to get himself out to Spirit sooner or later.
I think Purble's biggest issue is what he doesn't know. He's missed a few important hints, and the most critical one, honestly, is that Hylia Path of Power for the Boomerang. And he's also missing Rudo's back in bottom of the well that is bomb-locked, that is going to be tricky to route back in.
First check is something, and that something is some bomb juice. Which, I mean, I guess, hey, that's gives you a shortcut to DC to King Dodongo if you want it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think we need to see all the checks here. It's a potential Triforce area. If it's not here, it's probably Deep Forest, so guess you just got to go through all the possibilities.
And there was our ZL. Affected. Behind fire.
Yeah, Cole's playing it pretty safe, honestly. I'm not sure how necessary it really is to go ice here, but maybe Cola is worried that it could be an item instead of a song. It's definitely possible. It could be like Strength 2 and throw us for a loop in addition to the Eponas.
That's certainly an option, and certainly one that I think Cola would probably have in the back of his mind. And I'm thinking this looks quite a lot like an ice play. No, I don't think we've seen a Burning Catkin. No. But I'm not sure if that's a sometimes in these settings.
Handy domain foolish reminder.
It's like, hey, just in case you were thinking of going there, before you do, you might not want to waste too much time in there, just saying.
So let's see some chat predictions about what is the Ice Cavern solution. Is it Kokiri Sword, Epona? I want to know what you think.
I kind of like the Kokiri Sword call that someone make. I think just to add some even more silliness to this this kind of chain.
Kind of wonder how deep we are. Like, we've seen a lot of path items on power already. Like, this ZL chain is very buried. How much deeper can this really go?
This is sub 1 hour, so this is technically rushing ice.
There's some speculation in chat that whatever is an ice is the last item, which I think is pretty likely. But just because it's the last item doesn't mean that things can't get really trolly. It could always be, you know, Longshot or Epona for silver blocks in GTG, and needing another strength to be able to actually get the piece.
So Purble is the first one to take down the king of the Dodongos. Not found anything much, particularly. Except a giant's wallet. And yeah, Milk, it was Path of Wanderer was oh no, Kokiri Forest was Path of Wanderer.
No Triforce piece in Dodongos, so it kind of narrows down where it could possibly be unless we find some additional items out there.
And hover boots there in ice. Purble showing us that Redead Grotto was nothing. And does remember to come and do adult shooting, which is it's not necessary, but it's still good to remember it.
Yeah, so hovers deep, and we already knew that hovers had to be locked well beyond the hook shot in Fire Temple, and that definitely fits the bill. Unfortunately, no shield for Cola, so doing this ice block room is a little bit more tricky. Can't do the ground jumps, so have to rely on some backup strats.
Yeah, I think it's deliberate. Just wants to show off some glitchless jumps. And,
This is like a really difficult trick. I prefer just to stand in the last side hop position and
just do
a single side hop.
Yeah. Instead of doing it from all the way over here.
Because this is why.
Yeah, KO, ZL was on Prelude.
There we go.
Hey, good job. Yeah, no, that is a very tricky trick.
That's the hardest one in my opinion. It's also not free to be doing those shield turns without a shield. That's what would scare me.
That's the other big thing about having the shields. I mean, if you've got a shield and you've got bombs, you can just like skip all of that. But if you haven't got bombs, but you've got a shield, at least you can do your shield turns a lot easier. Have to be a little bit more precise without one. Alright, so now we're going to find out, is the hovers the path? Or the hovers?
Yeah, we know Shadow's foolish, so... And we also know that Volvagia has to be clearable by getting to the top of fire, because we know that Volvagia locks those hovers, so it can't be hovers for Fire Temple. So really, I think it can only be GTG at this point, and I think Cola agrees.
Yep, going to reverse that Wasteland to doing the Great Fairy Checkmate. Purble, meanwhile, what's their thinking? He's thinking, where's that boomerang so I can go get Requiem? He's thinking, but this is not the direction that he needs to be going.
So Cola, reverse waste landing. Ironically, I think reversing is easier than going forwards.
I actually do as well, because doing it reverse, there's sort of like a few points, and if you can count and aim in a certain direction, then it's pretty straightforward. But I do find going the other way, the correct way, without a lens, much harder.
Well, the good news for Purble is that he is back in bottom of the well, and that's going to get him his Rudo's letter, which we're pretty confident you need. With hovers in Ice Cavern, there's no way to get to Ice Cavern early, so the only way to GTG is going to be through either getting Requiem and reversing, or doing the full chain and getting ZL and for opponents. Fortunately, Purple has no boomerang, so that's only going to get us so far.
Is in the right area now, at least, but trying to think what he's going to do. Is he going to... I think we're going to get a back of Lake hint, at least, while Purple thinks about whether to go straight to Jabu or try and look somewhere else for a boomerang.
There's a big chest on top of the fortress there. You gotta imagine that Longshot's probably going to show up somewhere in GTG, even though it's not required. The fact that Epona is path makes it really likely.
And we're going to see both back of Lake hints from Purble, which I always enjoy, because you don't usually see. You sometimes see one, and you almost never see one.
Yeah, I'm definitely known to do back of Lake hints every now and then, especially when I'm really lost. Unfortunately, Purble kind of missed the opportunity to get that the Hylia path hint, which I think was near Deku Tree, and that's really the critical one. Although this looks like it could be a path, or not a path, a setup for Scarecrow Song, which is ultimately the right direction.
Yeah, so when it does get that hint, if it does get that hint, we'll be able to go get that boomerang.
So the Courage and Wisdom hints were probably shared across the paths, so there's our 10.
Okay, GTG.
All right, Cola, where are you going to go? Try to find that that other 3. we know that there's only a few options left for it, but this Ganon's play is probably going to frustrate Cola because he's going to get that second bomb bag, and that's going to open up a lot more possibilities. And I imagine that Cola is going to spend some time retracing Purble's steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still 56 minutes left. Still in for a fighting chance, Purble. Yeah, I'm going to see them both retrace each other's steps a little bit here.
Hopefully Purble remembers that domain is foolish. Good.
Yep.
Got a little nervous there.
Just for a second I thought, oh, don't speak to Bizarra. Don't speak to... Okay, it's good. It's good. Yeah, Neil with a good point, saying that the other lake hint being in Zora's Fountain. It looked like Purble will be getting that anytime soon either.
Well, looks like we're going to be hanging out for a little bit. Just seeing some checks that the other has. What? Oh, well, that's not going to help. But it is Mirror Shield.
Now, usually, under, like, standard settings, you'd be like, ah, that's a required item, even if it is only the light. But under these settings, almost certainly not what we're looking for.
Would have been nice earlier when he needed a shield.
Yes,
But,
indeed.
Yeah. We know that Mirror Shield is not required, for sure.
Baseball coming in for 6 months. Welcome in, Baseball.
I personally would like to know that if it isn't baseball, what is it?
It's a good question. I don't think I've ever had a straight answer from Baseball about that one, but whatever it is, it's not baseball. That is for sure. Yeah, Kalo knows.
Colo's almost done with Ganon's. Question will be, the Dongos or Deep Forest after this?
Kola gonna go and finish off his last things in Forest.
So yeah, looks like Deep Forest is the play. So maybe, I mean, I think any decision is as good as any other. Could have been Dodongo's, but could have also been Deep Forest. Theoretically, it could be neither. But I think Deep Forest is the most likely location at this point.
Cool, having those hover boots means he doesn't need to do any recoil shenanigans. Can just roll his way over there.
Yeah, it could be fire, but it can only be one check in fire. It can only be that lower bombable check. Hammer is... anything hammer locked is too many, and we already found a hook shot in Fire Temple, so we know that everything above that main room is key locked behind the hammer. I think Purble is lost and looking for information. That's what this routing suggests. Unfortunately, he has missed the hint stones that have the information that he's looking for. I think there's one in Fountain, and I think there's one in near Deku Tree, and this is not the right direction.
It's both times has basically been like 10 footsteps from each of them. Just prioritised other business instead of getting the hint stones.
Yeah, I had a few seeds when I was a little bit less experienced with the settings, where I kind of waffled between playing for hints and just checking everything. Mm-hmm. I think if you are searching for hints like this, you really need to just be completely thorough and go for like all the hints, the whole seed, because otherwise you end up in a situation like this where you left behind 4 hints in various locations and you're never going to go back there anymore, and you just don't get the information you need.
Yeah, so ideally you want to play either or. Just get all the hints or get hardly any of the hints and play the seed. But
yeah, you need to decide whether you have enough information or decide you don't, and go all in one way or the other, I think. Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, deeper into forest we go, since that wasn't the Triforce piece.
The real question is, will Cola finish this seed without a shield?
Kind of looking... unless you find like a Hylian shield somewhere. It might well be. I mean, we had the hintless OOT song, and I mean, I guess it's not technically hintless because the information that we have kind of led us to expect it to be there, but it wasn't directly hinted by the time Cola beat Jabu.
Yeah, unfortunately in this situation for Purble, doing a lot of these Spheres Euro checks is... What? Okay, well maybe that'll get him some information at least about Lake Hylia, but there's kind of no items that can be this early, because we know that the whole seed is locked behind that hookshot in Fire Temple behind those songs. So pretty much anything else that's not also locked behind those songs, I mean, it can't have a bomb bag. There's a lot of things it can't have.
Still not the hint that Purble is looking for. So no, Purble's thinking, where did I leave hints? There's got to be something somewhere. Maybe forgotten, but didn't check the Deku hints. Because that is possible, because if you're in just like a focus or a hurry, you finish forest. Okay, right. Off to the next place, where am I going to go? and then think you've just checked the hints and you have an unfortunate possibility.
Was that a second SFM hint, or was that the dupe? I thought that was the dupe.
I think that was a dupe.
All right, we got a big chest. This could be it.
GG's. There it is. You. Curse you.
Well, Forest Temple hoards the Triforce pieces yet again, but I mean, Cola played this great, honestly. Really good reading of the logic. Played it very safe, I think. Maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive going to GTG without doing ice, but there's nothing wrong with the way he played it, and got those 2 pieces in Forest Temple without getting baited into Dodongo. So well done.
Yeah, no, I think the logic reading of the seed was pretty good all the way through, especially the figuring out the beginning of the chain from the songs and realizing that Jabu is basically locking the rest of the seed without having to waste too much time going to like Ganon's castle, etc. earlier. And also as well, I mean, the other big difference, Purble not having any clue whatsoever about that boomerang and is pretty much a hard no for him, unfortunately. Looks like Purble's going to continue for now. Either's not seen race time or is just deciding to carry on.
So this is the first game of the best of 3, so the series is not settled yet. Got some more races to go that they'll be playing probably over the next week or so. But this is game 1 to Cola, and just trying to figure out if we're going to get him in for an interview or not. Trying to
KLO noticing what I just noticed as well, which is he's just seen that Jabu is foolish, which is not really a very useful hint, but at least knows it now.
Well, I was going to ask, but I don't have permission to chat in the room, so I'm going to leave it to other people to organize that. But yeah, I mean, that's the end.
I noticed Hell Knight was in there, so I think he was going to ask, but if it doesn't, I'll just ask. There's the forfeit from Purble. Understandable, because at this point, probably easy just to ask where it was and try and work it out. And it looks like Cola's agreed to chat with us. We'll ask Purble as well.
There he is.
Yo, GG's.
So, went pretty well. You had a solid read on the logic pretty much the whole way through. Tell us your thoughts about the seed.
Well, there was one point where I was kind of worried because I could have read that Epona's song is an ice cavern, to be honest, and just not gone there after getting the Requiem. I could have assumed that Epona was there because what other song is going to be there realistically? There could be Nocturne, but Shadow is foolish, so that doesn't make any sense. I guess there could be a Cookie Sword or Iron Boots potentially in Ice Cavern, so that could be a thing for water access or Dicotry. But Epona was the most likely, I thought, in Ice, so I could have skip Dune, Volvaja, and Dune Ice Cavern, actually.
Yeah, and welcome to Purble as well. So at the time, we were also speculating that it could have been Kokiri Sword and Ice as well, but turned out to be Epona, and Purble found the Kokiri Sword, which was actually in Garuda Valley.
Okay.
Purble, welcome. I think you're muted currently, but
I think Purple just needs a minute to
okay.
wash his
Never
hands and
mind.
everything. But he'll be here in a second. Yeah.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey!
Hey.
It's Purble.
GG.
Easy caller.
How many
I assume the
pieces did
answer
you
was
find?
Carry On in Fire or Carry On in Forest.
That was 2 pieces in Forest, yeah.
Yeah, I dipped after the first. I gambled that was it.
Yeah, I dipped after the first as well at first, and then I went for the piece of power, and after I found that, I returned and thought that Ganon's castle access is maybe locked by the 3 path count. So I went there, and after that, didn't
Yeah,
really
I did.
pan out. I just went back to Forest
Yeah, where was the power then?
in GTG.
Okay.
You
How'd
had
you
to
get to
do
GTG?
you had to do the OT song and get Requiem for that.
Where was
Hammer
Boomerang then?
Boomerang. What was it again?
It was Hylia on top of the lab.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
top
it
of
was
that.
in
Oh,
Lake
yeah.
Hylia.
That was the
Yeah.
only hint you didn't get at all, Purple. You missed it quite
Okay.
basically all the time, which was Lake Hylia on the path. Because one of them was at Deku Tree, and after Forest, you didn't check the hints, and then the other one was in Zora's Fountain.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Hylia would have been my next play. So
It was pretty annoying to see because you
yeah,
had to
I
do.
probably would have got 3 pieces under 2 hours. I think I would have got those, but fine.
It was kind of annoying because he needed to do the OT song to get Requiem and then get Hammer from Child Spirit to do Fire Temple then to get
Oh,
ZL.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have reversed with Requiem because the hints I had, it looked like GTG would be a good gamble. So if
that makes sense.
I kind of rang, I would have got Requiem and reversed to GTG. I think that's what I would have done.
Yeah, I thought about that too late. I should have done that to be honest, but I didn't gamble on that.
Sounds like I was a long way behind anyway. So. How early did you get your first piece in Forest?
23 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, I was. It's more like 40 for me.
There was a time reasonably early on where we thought that Purple, you might continue going on in Forest and potentially pick up 2 pieces.
I really
actually
considered it. But I gambled that wasn't the answer and that it was the bomb bags.
And I thought that was a pretty good gamble, honestly, because with the bomb bag in Forest Temple and then also hookshot locked in Ganon's, it could have definitely been Dodongo's Cavern, and we saw that, but it just wasn't. But it could have been.
Complete
DC would have definitely been my next play after Forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I rushed Ganon's after just beating Twin Rover, then went to DC instead of continuing. I did Forest Courtyard, but then I did DC, and I left the slow back half of Forest.
Yeah, I only did the Courtyard as well, and then left at first. So.
All right. Well, this is just the first game of the best of 3. I don't know if you guys have scheduled your next one yet, but nothing settled yet. But a good first game, and nice to see all the pieces getting found on Restream for a change of pace after the qualifier and some of them.
The qualifier was kind of brutal.
Yeah, it's much nicer than the qual.
The less mentioned about that again, the better. That's fair.
Well, that's a wrap from me. Any final thoughts for the runners?
I don't think I've got anything to say either, so you guys want to... Any final thoughts?
Oh, good luck for match 2.
Yeah, if we can keep getting seeds, that's nice.
This wasn't a bad seed at all, was it? I mean, it was a bit funky at the song chain, but apart from that, it was pretty.
I'm really enjoying this format. The shorter time is working really well for me.
Yeah, it makes it a lot better to schedule stuff. So you can actually fit it in a day within the weekdays.
Yeah.
Don't actually have to play on the weekends, forcibly.
Yeah, you're not almost never going to get you will never get a 4-hour seed. So,
I mean,
or even a
after
3-hour
2 hours,
seed.
The call might have been a 4-hour seed.
No, I played a bit on after 2 hours, and I found it relatively quickly, the third piece after that. Like maybe 20 minutes later.
Yes, but you're faster than me.
All right, well, I think we can probably start wrapping that up, and I'm not sure if we've got a raid target, but in the meantime, it is worth pointing out that we are going to have another race quite a bit later on tonight. Not for another sort of 6.5 hours, but we are going to have game 1 of Fabio versus Sari's Object at 10 PM Eastern Time, which is going to be really good. And yeah, HK also pointed out that on a different channel, on Slug Central, the Mixed Pool Tournament Draft is going to be going on later. So yeah, if you want to see more craziness and less speediness, then we'll go find out.
Those settings are a lot slower.
Yeah, it's like the almost the opposite of these settings in a lot of ways.
It's not quite as bad as random settings.
That is true. That is true. At least it's sort of within a smallish area of messing about instead of anything at all.
Yeah.
GG's again, both of you, and look forward to game 2 and possibly game 3.